and welcome to the Tournament Center. I'm Randy Buehler here with Brian David Marshall. Day 2 of Pro Tour San Diego is in the books. We now know which 16 teams will be coming back Sunday morning. 2 more rounds of Swiss will determine who plays in the top 4 elimination rounds for that $50,000 first prize.
We've been calling it day 2.5.
Yeah, it's a little different. Needed room for a couple extra rounds, so 12 rounds are in the books. There's 2 more rounds of Swiss play yet, so fully 16 teams, 32 players return tomorrow, and there's a ton of talent in that top 16.
Top 16 looks amazing. We've seen a number of players who've stayed close to the top, but we've also seen a couple players make a steady creep upward in the standings throughout day 2.
It's true.
John Fiorello and Eugene Harvey.
Yeah.
Is a perfect example in second place. Yamamoto and Takahashi, they
were undefeated on day 1 and they stayed there.
They've just stayed right at the top. They haven't budged.
5-1 today, so they're in
They've got
first place.
squatters' rights.
They've got a 3-point lead on the pack. They're in great shape.
But Fiorello and Harvey have just creeped up table, table 3, table 2.
That's right.
They're drafting a table 1 tomorrow, and Eugene Harvey who can see top 8.
The other undefeateds from yesterday, Terry So and his brother Joe, they put up a 4-1-1, so they've got the 4th spot on Pod 1.
Still a
and then
1. Yeah.
The Sliver kids, Lockman and Van Lunen, I don't know if they're kids, but the Sliver guys, the absolute story of the day. Everyone was buzzing about these guys. They killed 4 opponents in a row with poison on day 1. They came into day 2, they drafted Slivers again, and they stayed on Pod 1 all 3 drafts today. They went in 5th place when the dust settled at the end of the day, and I mean, they didn't collapse. They put up a 4-2. They're in great shape for tomorrow. They're hanging right out in 5th place. Great story. Yeah,
when you looked at the standings yesterday, there were a couple of names you didn't recognize near the top, and they were 2 of them.
Yep.
But as the name players, as the Japanese pros and the Pro Tour winners have closed ranks on them, these guys have stayed right there, right near the top throughout. These guys have put up a great tournament.
The best part for me is that they modified their strategy. Like, the Slivers weren't coming because everybody kind of knew what was up. They didn't even draft green. Not only did they pass on the virulent Slivers, they didn't even draft green anymore. So they're still right in the thick of this thing because they kind of reacted to the metagame, and it's kind of cool to watch that happen. Another interesting story here is the Hall of Fame. We thought we'd have a couple Hall of Famers playing for top 4, but Finkel came up a little bit short. Humphreys had a kind of a bad day.
Yeah.
The guy who's playing for it, though, is actually Ben Rubin. He's on the year 3 ballot, a ballot everyone is pointing to as just ridiculously tough, and he's one of the bubble guys, according to most people. So here he sits in 8th place, puts up a top 4 here. I could shake that ballot up.
Yeah, and he just continues to post solid finishes and
He's got the fever.
And be in the discussion for who's going to be playing when we go to the elimination brackets. He's been doing that. He did that in Yokohama, and he's doing it again this weekend. Another
guy that's been doing the same thing, Sebastian Thaler, the reigning Rookie of the Year, was playing for top 8 in the last round in Geneva, made top 8 in the second Pro Tour of the Year, and now here he sits in 9th place, right in the thick of it, 2 wins away from another final performance. I think great Magic.
He's playing great Magic. He's a lot of fun to watch. I think this guy is, if we had the Fantasy Pro Tour, this is a guy you want to draft, or you want to draft him in your keeper league right now. I think this guy's terrific.
That's absolutely right. The other big story I'm going to be watching tomorrow, the Player of the Year race. This is the 3rd Pro Tour of the year. There's 1 more after this, the Grand Prix. What you've seen over the Grand Prix circuit is Kenji Samura and Tomoharu Saito really jockeying for position and getting their points the Grand Prix circuit. And now here they sit. Both of them had to win their last pod to get advanced to Sunday, and they pulled it off. Kenji rattled off a bunch of wins in a row. Saito rattled off a couple wins in a row, and now here they sit. They're in the top 16. They're already at the top of the standing, so they've got a chance to really open some space up at the top.
What are the odds we start the draft coverage tomorrow on table 3?
Yeah, oh, by the way, they're drafting together. They can't both make the finals. The path to the finals, they go through each other. So that will be a fun pod.
And a little subplot there, Sebastian Thaler has a chance to extract a little revenge on Kenji Samura for Geneva. It'd be interesting if it came to a position where suddenly Thaler could draw.
No, they've got a win-win.
It's a win-win. So
yeah, it's a win and in.
So there's a little revenge there,
but certainly a revenge
Thaler.
motive. So a ton of talented people through to day 16. This 2-headed giant format has been a ton of fun. There's clearly a lot going on. The players are, maybe they wish there was 2 out of 3 matches, but this format's still pretty cool.
And there's a lot of different ways you can approach it. We're going to talk a little bit more about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these guys who've gotten here have gotten here on the unconventional strategies.
Right.
And it's, we focus on Lockman and Van Lunen, but there's a couple of other ways people can draft, and we're going to talk about those tomorrow as we look at these players and look at their decks. And see who makes it to the top 4.
So the way tomorrow's going to work, 2 rounds of Swiss and then a cut to the top 4. The top 4, you can watch the draft live. You can watch the matches live. Brian and I will be bringing you the play-by-play and the color. Should be about 2 o'clock Pacific time, Sunday afternoon. We'll be ready for the top 8. I know Yamamoto and Takahashi think they've got a seat in there. They're probably about 1 point away from clinching. The other spots, to be determined tomorrow. So keep your browser tuned to MagicTheGathering.com. Keep watching the Tournament Center. We will bring you the rest of the coverage of Day 3 of Pro Tour San Diego.
On Saturday, July 14th, Magic Game Day is coming to a store near you. With league play, contests, tournaments, and prizes galore, Magic Game Day will be packed with wall-to-wall excitement. For more information on your game days in your area, go to www.wizards.com/magicgameday.